So in the last class, we were basically speaking about scripts and enhancing the scripts, right? And then we know how to pass the positional arguments and how to take them right now. Okay, but we don't know how to accept the named parameters yet. Okay, so we'll be going there. But before that, we need to learn some of the concepts of Linux so that it would help us in basically doing that accurately. So today's session will take us in that direction. Fine. So what we will try to do in this series is we will try to understand the following major topics, right? So error checking and handling. Okay. So the following topics we will try to cover. The first one is error checking. The second one being error handling. The third one is error prevention. Okay. So this will be our focus going forward, right? So we will start by understanding exit status concept, right? Then we will basically get into functional checks, and we'll be getting into all of that aspects, right, sir? Okay. So now what I would try to do is, let me basically go ahead and then start on error checking. Okay, right. So what do I mean by error checking, right? So whenever you give script, let us try to understand how can I basically check for errors. How can I basically check for errors, right? So if you remember in the last class, we were trying to give read -p, right? And then we have basically given one as an option saying that user should be able to execute, enter only one character, enter only one character. Okay. So now how do I basically want to accept that when the user allows only the acceptable values, right? So that is the first thing which you need to worry about. And the next thing which you needs to worry about is whenever I try to run the command, okay, every command will return some code to me, right? And that code is something which we refer as exit codes. So the exit status, right? We also refer it as exit codes or return codes. Okay, right? This is the way the bash communicates. Bash communicates, okay, the successful, right, or the unsuccessful termination, or the unsuccessful termination of a process to parent. If you remember, few classes ago we have discussed about exec and fork. So whenever you try to start any process in Linux, basically what happens, you will have, okay, a parent shell. Okay, yes, and then you try to execute the command. When you execute the command, basically what happens, a subshell is created, right? Creates subshell. For this we have discussed that there is something called as exec and fork, right? And now inside this subshell is where your command executes. So we will have child subshell. Okay, and now in this child subshell your command will be executed. Let us assume that we have executed a command called as ps-f. So your parent shell will know whether the child shell process has been successfully completed, or if something has gone wrong, okay, by exit status, by exit status, right? So the return code is something which it would know, right? So let me try to have a screen capture of this. Whenever you run any command in Linux, the story is same. Okay. Right. Right. So Linux command execution process /images. Oh man, one mistake I've done it. Right. So actually we were working in shell scripting, right? This is bash 5. Right. And let me copy the path of it. My bad, sir. I'll try to correct it because otherwise this will impact the way the nodes is basically being created. So sh27 and in Linux 23.md I'll try to delete this file. Move to recycle one. Right. So bash 5.md. Right. So and the image which we have created is sh27. Right. Now let us try to basically write or use some commands. Use some commands. The command which we will basically try to look into is the command which we will try to look into is right make temp. Make temp. Okay. So what is this make temp and how does this work? Okay. Right. Let us basically get started. So for checking this, let me create a Ubuntu instance quickly. So let me go over here. Let me log in into my AWS instance. I'll get into EC2. I think I should have one one Ubuntu instance already running. Okay. Not in Mumbai, but in Oregon. I'll use the same thing. Right. So this is my Ubuntu instance, and this is the public IP address of this. So let me try to connect to that machine. So SSH -i terraform.pem and sorry Ubuntu @public IP address. There is no need for you to do this simultaneously. It will be difficult for you to manage, Niti. Right. So make temp -help. Right. So what does this command do? This command creates a temporary directory. So let's use make temp command. I am not going to tell you what make temp command is. We have discussed about majority of the commands, how to find out what it does, right? So basically you can do that. You can basically do that, right? So now let me try to basically create something. Let me try to basically create something. Okay. So which is there is one more command which I will be basically looking into. Make dir. Okay. Okay. Right. I'll try to basically I'll try to show you one important thing. Let me try to run echo hello. And now if I execute $? What would happen? What is this $? What is this $? Sir? We have discussed about this already in our previous classes. Okay. So let me try to show you this. Ping -c for google.com. Echo $? So what is it I'm getting? 0. What does a 0 mean? What is that? Right? For the people who have forgot it, dollar question mark is the return code or whatever has been written from the earlier execution of your command. Earlier execution of your command. Last command's exit code. Okay. Now let's write a script. Okay. With return codes. Okay. With exit codes for success and failure. Okay. So we will try to look out for what is the success return code and what is the failure return code. Okay. Right. So let me quickly write that shell script. So let me go to C drive, Linux. Yeah. So I'll be calling it as return code .sh or return code demo .sh. Okay. So I don't need this machine at this moment. So I'll be logging it out. When we need, we'll try to copy that. So return code demo .sh. Okay. So every file I'll start with a shebang, and it is better that you should have a script header. But in the favor of time, I'm not writing the script headers. But please don't get away from script headers. Right? Try to give a different stuff. And it is always a good practice to tell what your shell script does. Run a command which will always work. Okay. So the command make temp will always work. Now what I'll try to do is make temp underscore return code. Okay. Or exit code. Okay. Here, what is it I'm trying to do? Storing the exit code of make temp. What is it I need to do? I need to basically execute dollar question mark. Do you agree with me on this? Now, run a command which always fails. Okay, there is already a directory called as home. So I'm trying to create the directory again /home /Ubuntu. Okay, so this command fails because there is already a directory. Okay, so make dir underscore exit code equals to dollar question mark. Now let me write a statement echo return code, right? Or let me put it in this way. Make temp return success exit code, which is dollar make temp underscore EC. Okay. Make dir return failure exit code or error exit code, whatever that makes sense to you, right? So let me call it as make dir underscore EC. So shall I run the script, sir? Now let me log in into this machine. Get into, or let me create scripts folder. Let me get into this scripts folder and let me basically say return code demo.sh. Okay, we know the drill. What is that we need to do, right? I have copied the script. Then I will give chmod plus x return code demo.sh, right? If you want to make it more stuff, you can do export path equals to, okay, what is this? Dollar path colon /home /ubuntu /scripts folder. Okay, now you can basically run return code demo.sh because you have added to the path variable. Now what is happening? So are you saying what has happened? the success code is 0, right? And the failure code is non-zero. And the failure code is non-zero. Am I clear on this, sir? So any command which returns other than 0 is considered to be what? Is considered to be a failure. Okay. Am I clear on this, sir? So the script which I have written it over here is this. Okay. Now execute this script and then we will be seeing the results. Okay. If it is 27, then it is 28. So return code of 0 is success. Any other return code is failure. Okay. So now let me go and Google for Linux exit code list. Now if you look into this, whole of the stuff makes sense to you, right? So for the standard exit codes and their meanings, refer here, right? You can look into many other things. There are many articles around it. Are you seeing, right? So one is general error. 2, this is basically what it means, right? So you can refer this. There are many articles around it. You can go on and on. There are many articles which speak about them, right? But the whole idea is, okay. So there is something called a shell scripting tutorial. For me, it doesn't matter. Okay. So exit codes are numbers between 0 and 255, right? So basically, whenever you get anything which is 0, it is considered to be success. Anything which is non-zero is considered to be failure. Am I clear on this, sir? Good. Okay. Fine. Now, okay. Let us basically look out for. We have looked out for error checks, right? We have looked out for error checks, right? So before we get error checks, I think we can basically stop the error from happening. Stop the error from happening. How? When we test it. When we test it. Okay. So now let me log out of. I'm present over here, right? So let me execute a command. So test -d /home /ubuntu /scripts. Do we have this directory? Okay. Now let me execute echo $?. So what is the value which I get? I get 0. I get 0. Right? Now if I do scripts1, I don't have this folder. Now let me execute this. What is that I'm getting? So there is a command in shell in Linux which is called as test, which can tell if the directory exists or not by passing -d. If the directory exists, it returns 0. If the directory doesn't exist, it returns what? 1. It returns 1. So before creating the directories, don't you think it is better to basically use this idea? To use this idea, right? So now let us look out for what I want to do right now is I'll be doing something called as test shorthand, because many times, right, we use test command, okay, in lot of scripts, right? So we will have a look at many things which test can do. Okay, so let's explore test. Okay, so test can tell us whether the file exists or not. Test can tell us whether the directory exists or not. Test can tell whether the variable is empty or not. Test can tell us whether two variables have same values or not. Test can basically tell us if file 1 is older than file 2. It can test about integers. There is a lot of things which you can do with test. Okay. So now, okay, if the directory exists or not, what is the command which I have used? Test -d /home /scripts. Yes. And now this is give me this. So it gives me 1. That means directory doesn't exist, right? So test, let me try to check positive cases now. Test -d /home /ubuntu. Do we have this folder? So echo $? I can get the same thing, okay, by doing, okay, square brackets -d /home /ubuntu. Oh, my bad, sir. Right. I want a screenshot of it, so I'll redo this whole stuff. Okay. Now I will try to execute square bracket -d /home /ubuntu. Give a space and close the square bracket. And now you use echo $? Are you getting the same result? Are you getting the same result, sir? Okay. So I'll log in into this machine again, right? But let me go over here. So directory checking. So full command, you can write test -d, okay, and then directory path. Okay. Now shorthand notation of the same thing. You might see people using the shorthand notations once you get familiar with shell. So -d directory path. Am I clear on this, sir? So now as an example, I will give you a screenshot of this. Is this making sense, sir? Okay. Sometimes you would see in the shell script people doing this, right? And it sounds confusing. What is that square bracket and what is that all of it? Sounds like as if it is something strange happening there. But nothing is strange over here. It is just a shorthand notation, right? Once people become decent with their shell, what they try to do is they try to use this. They try to use this. Okay. Am I clear on this, sir? Okay. So let me log in into this. Okay. And then let me basically go around and then do the same stuff. Square bracket -d /home /ubuntu and two square brackets echo $? This is basically called as extended shorthand. This is called as extended shorthand. Okay. The difference between the shorthand and extended shorthand is very simple. Is very simple, right? Basically, whenever you are writing a single square bracket, it might basically give you problems when you have paths with spaces in them. Okay. But if you basically use the double shorthand notation, you might not get that problem. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. Am I clear on this, sir? Yeah. So can you test and tell whether the directory is present or not? Yeah. So shall we look at some other test stuffs? Okay. So now let me basically write the commands. I'm not going to basically do this. Test -5 greater than 2. Okay. And if it is true, then echo S. Okay. But if it is not true, echo no. Okay. What is it? I might have missed something. Oh, right. It is fine. Oh man, my bad, sir. Greater than hyphen GT. Sorry, saying 5 is greater than 2, right? So what is happening? 5 is greater than 2. It is, let us look into this. Test 5 greater than 2. Echo dollar question mark. It gives you 0. Okay. So since it is 0, it will try to execute this. If it is 1, it will try to execute OR. Now let me try to execute the same expression by trying to tell 5 greater than 22. Let us see what happens. No. Does it make sense, sir? Okay. Right. Now let me try to see if this shorthand notation works. 5 greater than 2. Echo dollar question mark. Okay. And then let me see if I can write the same expression in echo. Okay. Yes. Or echo no. Is it working? Yeah. Similar to greater than. Okay. You have hyphen equals, hyphen not equals to, and hyphen less than. Hyphen less than. All right. Am I clear on this? So using test, we can do comparisons using hyphen GT, comma, hyphen NE, hyphen equals, and hyphen less than. Right. So I'm basically giving you the simple example over here. I'll give the shortcut. I'm not sure. I'm quite sure that you will understand the shorthand notation, right? Because if I start writing every command, then there is no point in you guys not exploring that. So you can skip the exploration, which I don't want, right? So many times in the shell scripts, you might see people using the shorthand notations and it might sound very confusing, right? But once you know the stuff, it is not that confusing. It is not that confusing, all right? Now, to check the file existence, okay, use test hyphen F command, okay? So now if you see, I have already a file. Let me get into scripts. So do I have file called as return demo.sh? So test hyphen F home slash ubuntu slash scripts slash return demo.sh. Now let me try to execute dollar question mark. Okay, I can do the same thing by basically trying to do hyphen F home slash ubuntu slash scripts, or let me use the shorthand notation now. Right, in my home directory I have scripts slash return codes.sh, and now let me execute echo dollar question mark. Okay, now I'll execute the same command, okay, by giving something wrong. Okay, now I'll execute the same thing by giving something which doesn't exist. Am I clear on this, sir? So I can extend this discussion, or I can extend this by trying, okay, echo file exists, or echo file does not exist. Am I clear on this? And let me try to write the positive statement. Return code demo.sh file exists. Am I clear on this, sir? So in shell script, you would see people doing this. File found, file not found, and all of that stuff. Is it making sense, sir? So whenever you see square brackets, don't get confused. It is just a shorthand syntax. Okay, did I save this? Hopefully it is 31. Let me see. Yeah, 31.png. Am I clear on this, sir? Okay. So shall we quickly write a script around it? Okay. So shorthand demo.sh /bin/bash. Right. So let me try to create a constant. Right. Generally, it is a good idea to have a constant. Right. With, let me try to write home underscore directory is /home/ubuntu. Right. Or I can put it as $0 if you want to parameterize it. $1 first argument, right? But let me not do that. Let me make it simple. home/ubuntu. Now let's check if the home directory exists. So how will I do that? I can basically check that by saying test-d, okay, $home underscore directory. Can't I do this, sir? Okay, and then okay, full underscore directory underscore return code. Okay, so return code, okay, of full command, full underscore check underscore d underscore return code. Okay, so for this I'll be simply putting $question mark. Now if I have to write a shorthand notation, okay, so how will I write a shorthand notation? Very simple, just write a square bracket -d, okay, and then you have to tell that whether the directory exists or not. So home directory. Now return code of short command or shorthand notation. Okay, so short underscore check underscore directory underscore return code, and then I'll be giving you $question mark. Okay, simple, sir. Okay, so now I can simply write, okay, so echo return code for full command, okay, return code for full command using test-d is dollar full. Let me copy this, right, and then echo return code for shorthand notation using square brackets is dollar Is it making sense, sir? Yeah. Now let me copy this. Okay. Go in here. Okay. Log in into this machine. Get into scripts folder. Okay. And then let me try to create vi. Okay. Uh, what is this file name? Shorthand demo. Right. Shorthand demo dot sh. And then let me. So chmod plus x shorthand demo dot sh dot slash shorthand demo dot sh. Are we getting the same result, sir? So whenever you see square brackets, will you have any problem? Right? Now, if you want to evaluate how this stuff is working, just bash -x. Remember, we have looked into debugging. It is trying to tell you the folder. Are we clear, sir? Okay. So now we need to handle errors. When the errors happen, what is that we need to do? Okay. So that is what we will try to understand now. How do I handle errors? So now if I want to create a directory, before creating a directory, can I do the checks now? Or after creating the command, I can do the checks because I know some test command, and test command can do certain stuff for me, right? But I want to do error handling. Okay. So for error handling, what I'll do is, right? Right. What is that we have been doing so far? We looked at how to check the, okay, how to check for directories, okay, files and conditions which can act as error checks. Okay. Now, basically, if we combine this checks with conditional statements, right, we can avoid errors. Do you agree with me? So there will be condition statements like if and all of that stuff. So for handling errors, also we need a conditional statement. We need a conditional statements. So let me start with a conditional statement, which is the agenda of our discussion, right? So which is if then exit. Okay. So what is this if then exist, right? So if then and exit, sorry. Okay. So in shell, if you want to write a if condition, how do you write it? Okay. So in the basic idea, what we are trying to do is we will test for a condition. If the test is true, we will execute the condition. Otherwise, we will exit. We will exit with a return code, right? Return code, which is an error. Am I clear on this, sir? Sir, right? So in the basic form, or let me put it in. The basic idea is to test for a condition, right? That is if. And if that condition is true, okay, we do something, and that something is then, right? If that is not the case, okay, and if condition is false, we return exit codes or failure exit codes. That is exit. Am I clear on this, sir? So we are writing a very simple if condition. Okay. Now let us assume that, okay, we want to write, okay, we want to write a script which, okay, uh, creates, okay, or which prints content of a file, the content of a file. So let me basically quickly write that script. Okay. So if then exit demo.sh. Okay, fine. So I'll start with shebang bin slash bash. So you can take the file output, the file location from parameters like $1 and all of that stuff. But I will try to make it like slash tmp slash random.txt. Okay, I don't have this file in my system. So what I'll try to do is check if the file exists. We need to print the statement to print this file, to print the contents of this file. Does the file need to be executed? Right? So what we are trying to tell is if, right, if condition, right, will be executed when I am trying to tell that if, okay, hyphen f, okay, dollar file dollar, okay. This means that if the file exists, okay, then what is that I need to do? You basically, right, cat the contents of the file. So cat dollar file and then return the exit code, okay, or you can say exit of 0, exit with a code of 0. That means what is the exit code of 0? All right. So in shell, this is starting of if block and this is ending of if block, right? But if this is not true, then what is that case? Then the file doesn't exist. If the file doesn't exist, I am returning the error code of 1. Did you understood this statement? Yes or no, sir? Did we understood what I've written? If the file exists, then print the contents of the file. If the file doesn't exist, just return the error code of 1. But initially we will not have a file. Let me execute this script. Okay. So let's write a basic if condition. So in shell, the if condition syntax is, you can basically refer in Google, right? If condition, then, okay. So here statements, right? So using this, let's write the script as shown below. Okay. So I've written this. Now execute the script for negative test. All right. What is a negative test? Home slash or tmp slash random.txt does not exist. Okay. So let me log in into this machine. Okay. Right. And then basically get into the scripts folder. And then let me try to basically say, what is this file's name? If then exit demo.sh. All right. So vi if then exit demo.sh. So let me copy this file. Okay. Let me add the execute permissions. Okay. And then let me execute dot slash if then exit demo.sh. Okay, so let me try to print echo dollar question mark. So what is the error code which I got? Okay, so I can include that in the scripts. We will make the script a little bit better. Okay, in our subsequent discussions. Now what I'll try to do is, let me try to create a file which is touch, okay, slash tmp slash random.txt. Now do we have a file? Okay, now let me execute the same shell script and let me execute what is the return code. So am I getting 0? Yes, sir. So now is our script giving us basically the contents of the file? Okay, now if I add some contents, vi slash tmp slash random.txt and then say hello, this is sample we are learning, and now if I execute the same script, okay, and then if I execute echo dollar question mark, now are our scripts returning exit code, sir? Is it not better than what we were doing couple of classes ago? Yes or no, sir? Right? Yes. So in the next steps, what we will try to do is, let me try to enhance the scripts further by using if then else. Right? There is one more construct called as if then else. Right? We will get into that direction. So for today, I'll stop the class at that.
Thanks for watching. For more videos, subscribe our channel and click on bell icon.